Good evening. I have to be quiet because it's 12 o'clock at midnight. I couldn't sleep and I thought, right, I'm going to get out a book, and I don't want to wake my neighbours up because these are thin walls. I do have to be up early because I'm helping out a family member tomorrow. But as long as I get about 6 hours sleep, I'll be fine. But I've been reading What Happened to You by Oprah Winfrey, and it's conversations on trauma, resilience and healing. And I came across a page in it that said, and I kind of question it a little bit because everything that I read, I like to read things and what sticks with me, that's awesome, but you can't always just go along with everything that you're reading. You've got to question it and maybe kind of align it with your own moral compass, or just think, is that right? Can I look more deeper into this? So on here it said, it's nearly impossible for some people to go with the flow or get along. They blow up at their boss, they're not reliable as friends, and they sabotage new relationships. These are people that have come from extreme trauma or unhealed trauma. Yet it is almost always the case that these people really do want to be connected. They may even be good at starting relationships, they're just terrible at maintaining them. And of course, since we are, at our core, relational creatures, this difficulty is psychologically and physiologically devastating. It leads to isolation, disconnection and loneliness, and is connected to all kinds of other problems, including risk for physical health problems. Now, this is somebody called Dr. Perry, who was talking to Oprah Winfrey about this. She's in her book, she's having conversations with a psychologist who has obviously learnt a lot about childhood trauma and how it affects you as an adult. Now, I'm already on my healing journey, and I've been on my healing journey now, I would say, for the last few years, although I kind of started it 2017 when I started childcare. I kind of learned a little bit about this and that, and then, but I'd say the last 2 years I've definitely been learning a lot more about my shadow side and inner child work. Well, anyway, before I digress, it says here that having unhealed trauma can lead to isolation, disconnection, loneliness, and is connected to all kinds of other problems, including risk for physical health problems. And although that can be true, because obviously nobody wants to be super lonely and just on their own all the time and dealing with everything on their own, I do believe that you do need to have a little bit of time alone and actually isolate. And if the people that are around you and that are in your circle are toxic for you, are very dramatic, they have trauma themselves or anything along them lines, and then they're kind of putting that on you a lot, and if they're people with a lot of drama themselves and they're putting that onto you, you're never going to fully heal, because you are always being distracted by somebody else's bollocks, basically, instead of you working on your own trauma. So I do believe that actually isolating yourself to a certain degree can be very beneficial to you and not cause all the isolation, loneliness and physical health problems. Depends on what company you have. So if you work on yourself, you take time away from anything that is stressful, traumatic, or anything along them lines. You take time away, and then you spend time with more happier people, people who are showing growth, people who are showing change, people that inspire you, people that are happy, people that are loving, then that's brilliant. They definitely are the type of people that you need to mingle with. But usually, if you haven't started isolating and working on yourself, you will probably bring them trauma. You will bring them drama because you're not fully healed. So I watched something today about a man who said that because there's a lot of people and a lot of things out there that say you need to find people that match your energy. But he was saying that energy can be manipulated. So there are people out there who can read your energy, and they will be everything that you need of them until you get comfortable and you trust them, and then out comes their demons. Yeah, there might be master manipulators, narcissists, anything like that out there. So what he says is that you should be aligning with people who have got your same moral compass, your values, your belief system, your aspirations, your inspirations, and match with that. So, and he said that being, and I've noticed this a lot as I've aged and over the last few years, that if you're quiet enough, see, because I felt like I was a child that wasn't heard, I would try and make myself heard. I'd be very dramatic, and obviously I've got a diagnosed ADHD as well, so I was always being, as a teenager and going onwards into an adult, I'd be a bit dramatic about things because I wanted people to hear me, I wanted people to see me, I needed that recognition, I needed people to make me feel good about myself. But as you go through your healing and you go through everything to do with your shadow side and your childhood trauma, you realise that actually keeping quiet and observing is the best way you can actually find people who match your level of morals. Because you're keeping quiet, you're hearing them, you're watching, you're observing them. If you're all about you, if you're all this loud and proud, you don't have time to be able to see what other people are like, and they will just draw to you. So anyone who's got like a low energy or negative, they will draw straight over to you because they see you as like a powerful magnet. So the best thing to do is to calm yourself, work on yourself, isolate yourself for a little while. But it's no point isolating yourself and not doing anything. You have to be like, I find watching YouTube videos, reading books. I couldn't read books years ago. My brain just wouldn't, I just couldn't. I was too scatty. But now I can sit here and read a chapter. It's crazy because my mind is more slowed down. You have to slow everything down, break it apart, work on what you can work on. If there's anything that's too a bit struggle for you to deal with, anything too gritty, then keep it to the side and work on other things. Try and be more into your spirituality, pray more. What was that? Pray, sleep, eat, read, exercise. So many ways. Take care of your body. Try and eat as much good nutrition as you can, because if you physically look after yourself, then mentally you'll be a lot better, and then you'll be able to help alongside dealing with your trauma. So you're looking after yourself physically and working on yourself spiritually and mentally, and that is how you're going to get to a place where you feel comfortable and where you find your true happiness again. Doesn't matter what's going on the outside around you, keep working on you. Keep working on what's on the inside. It'll work if you work it.